Alright, hi everyone. As I was marking your work, I can feel that many of you are having misconception on some of the concepts. So I thought this video, I hope that it will help you to understand why and how to do this better. Alright, let's start with the first question, or 1A, right? So for 1A, what we have here is negative x plus 5y squared. Now, some of you are very affected by the minus x. What should I do if it's a minus x first? So what you can do is actually to swap position, to change it into 5y minus x. So you notice that I didn't do anything. The minus x still remains as minus x, but it becomes easier, right? So this one will be just a square, right? And minus 2ab plus b squared. Alright, and then the answer will look something like that. Okay. Alright, even if you were to branch out, for example, you want to look at an alternative solution, it could be 5y minus x times 5y minus x. So then you expand like 5x times 5y times 5y, you still get your 25y squared. And this is 5xy negative. This is 5xy negative. So you still get back your 10, sorry, this should be 10, negative 10yx, alright, or negative 10xy. Okay, or you can write negative 10xy. Yeah, and lastly, when you take minus x times minus x, you get back your x squared. So whichever method you do, you should get back the same answer. Okay, now let's go to, so that's for 1A. So let's go to 1B. Now for 1B, I have x squared plus y and x squared minus y. So you can think of it as this is your a plus b and a minus b. So if you recall, it's actually a square minus b square, right? So it's actually x square with a square minus y square. So the answer would be just x power 4 y square. Some of you don't like the rate method, like the formula method. You like to just plainly expand it, right? So x squared times x squared still give you x4. This will be minus x squared y plus x squared y and minus y squared. So you work it out, you still will get this answer, because if you look at just minus negative, bad color, negative of this plus this will give you 0, right? Okay, so that's for 1B. That's for 1B. So let's go to question 2. Now question 2, there are quite a fair bit of questions, so let's look at question 2 per se. Now, so for question 2, I want 2a, right? So 2a I want to factorize, so 1 minus 121 x squared. So I want to recall this is something like a squared minus b squared. And before I can even start that, so I also want to recall that a squared minus b squared is actually a plus b, a minus b. So this is very important. It's very useful to remember. But I don't want to quickly start breaking them down, but instead I want to make sure that it is in the bracket square minus bracket square skeleton. So this is very important. This is very useful. It helps to reduce the error. So as far as you can, try and adopt this idea, right, of putting it into bracket square and bracket square. So let's try and figure out, right? So 1 square, what square will give you 1 square, right? So if you can notice that it's still 1. However, 121 x squared, it will be just 11x. So you don't go into the trap of putting something different into the second bracket. To simplify it, I know is the first term plus the second term, and the first term minus the second term. That's it. Alright. Now 2b. I want to have this. So I will still use back the cross factorization, but the question is now how to identify this. How to know I need to use this, right? So what I want to do is I want to recognize that there are three terms. So there's one term, there's two terms, there's three terms. And it's at descending power of x. Alright, then this is no x, right? Then there is no x here. So let's try and see how it looks like. I will put 9y squared here, and over here I want to check that I have 6xy. Here no issue. Over here, let me try a 3 and 3. But in order to get a y square, I must be 3y and 3y, right? So multiply upward, 3y with a x. Okay. I want to get 6xy, right? I want to get 6xy. So this one must be a plus, this must be a plus. Make sense? So this is a plus. Do a final check. My plus 3 times plus 3 will give you plus 9 squared. So everything is correct. I know that this can be factorized into two brackets. And I also know that the first bracket will be here. The second bracket comes from the second row, right? Will be here. Alright, so I hope this illustration does help you to, yeah, so you can leave it like that, no problem. But if you see that they are the same, you could actually combine them into a single fraction, bracket. Okay, so that's for 2b, right? So for 2c, I want to have 25x squared, I want to have 100xy, I want to have 100y squared. So same concept, I know that I have to use cross factorization. So then I need to know what I need to put in here, right? But you notice that these numbers are very big. Huge, right? Like 100 and 100. So actually I could try and factorize this first. Alright, I could try and factorize this first. And if I take out everything, that's just 4xy plus 4xy. Sorry, 4y squared. So instead of 25, I will be left with 1. Alright, so it's even nicer, right? It's just 1. Instead of 100, I'm just left with 4. Same thing here, I'm left with negative 4. So then I know that very simple, this must be x and x. This will be just maybe 2 and 2. This will be 2y and 2y, so 2xy, 2xy. Now in order to get a minus 4, this must be negative, and then this must be negative. Same thing again, I want to put them into two brackets, so I recall that the first row is the first bracket, the second row is the second bracket. So I will have 25, two brackets, the first one and the second one, right? So I will put x minus 2y, x minus 2y. The difficult part is actually to identify this 25, because some of you actually did the mode 33 method or mode 522 method. So some of you actually wrote your final answer as this, right? So you just write x minus 2y, x minus 2y. Now I want you to recognize that this is wrong, because x times x is not equals to the original equation, which is 25x squared. So the solution is always to factorize. Now this factorize means you want to factorize the highest common factor lah. In this case is 25, right? this 25 comes from here. Okay, so I hope this helps to explain a little bit. So let me zoom out again. I have spoken about 2A, 2B, and 2C. So now let's go to 2D. Alright, so 2D, maybe we will use another page, and let's go. I think, yeah, keeping here is fine. So 2D, right? 2D, I want 36y square minus 49x plus 1 square. And if I look at this, then it looks like this is a giant a square minus b square. But it looks too complicated. So I would like to, so I know the final answer is like a plus b and a minus b. But since it's very complicated, I recall that I want to build that skeleton. So I want to ask myself, what exactly can I put inside this? So the first question will be then, what square will give you 36y square? So be very careful. It is actually 6y, not 36y, right? So the second question, then how do I, you know, what should I put inside the second bracket so that I can get 49 and then x plus 1. So if I look at it, 7 square will give you 49. X plus 1, if I square it, I'll get x plus 1 square, right? So I want to then recall, right? So this is like the first term, which is 6y, plus the second term. And the first term, which is 6y, minus the second term. Okay, so I hope this helps you to figure out question 2. Now let's go to question 3, shall we? Now, question 3, right? The third question, I mean. Now, the third question was actually question 4. So it talks about, so I just leave it here like that. Now, so question 4a, no issue. Many of you are able to recognize this is x plus 3, x minus 3. But for 4b, then I want to use part A to find out what is 4891. So I have to then think of, well, how is this 4891 linked to the answer in part A, right? So maybe what I would do is I will let them be equal. So I let x squared minus 9 be equal to 4891. Alright? And what this do is that if I were to try and solve for x, I know that x plus 3 and x, never mind. Let's try to understand in another way. So if I were to solve for x, then I know that x squared is actually 4,900. If I were to do to remove the square, I will do a square root, right? So square root 4,900. It could be plus, it could be negative, right? So if I work further, it is just 70 or negative 70. So if I were to understand this, then 4891 will be equals to x squared minus 9, and the value of x is actually 70 squared minus 9. If I were to use the idea of a squared minus b squared, I will need to set them up into something squared minus something squared. And I know then this become the first term plus the second term, the first term minus the second term. Simplify it, I know it's 73 and 67. So two factors, possible factors will be actually these two factors. Alright, so the answer will be just 73 or 67. Okay. Now, let's look at the last question, or the last two questions, shall we? Now, okay, let me just stop here. Yeah. So the last two questions, question 7, talks about 2 times x minus y whole thing square is 116, and xy is 24. So before you go and solve simultaneous equation, you shouldn't. Alright, so what you want to do is maybe since there's a bracket, I want to first expand this bracket. So when I expand this bracket, I notice that it is just x squared minus 2xy plus y squared, and this is 116, right? So if I observe the second, the second equation, it seems like I could just let sub xy is equals to 24 into here. So 2 times of x squared minus this plus y squared is equals to 116. So if I work this further, I probably will get 2 times, right? 2 times of, say, x squared minus 48 plus y squared equals to 116. Now, notice that they want to find just my x squared and y squared, right? So I don't want the rest actually. So I could bring the 2 over and then I divide. So 116 divided by 2, which will give you 58. And I don't want my 48, right? I don't want my negative 48. So I try and bring my minus 48 over. Then I only have x squared plus y squared at the left hand side, right? So if I add this number, this will be 106. Okay. All right. Now going on to the last question. Okay, so moving on. So let me scroll up a bit. So I will stop here so that you can at least take down question 7. Now, so let's look at question 8, right? Question 8 talks about simplifying f plus 3 squared. Again, a warm-up exercise. Many of you got this answer. It's actually looking like that. All right. Now, part 2. Hence, simplify the equation 2h plus k plus 3 squared. So if I want you to compare, you notice that f is actually 2h plus k. Yeah? And the rest are actually the same. You see, the bracket is the same, the plus 3 is the same, the close bracket is the same, even the square is the same, even the equal is the same, right? So it means that I will actually replace f with 2h plus k. So this is how it looks like. 2h plus k whole thing square, 6 2h plus k plus 9. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to replace all the f with 2h plus k. Replace the f with 2h plus k. While the remaining thing like square, I will put the same, plus 6 I don't change, plus 9 I don't change as well. So I hope this color coding help you to see how and why. And then I want to simplify, right? So I will just expand this out. So it looks like that. I also want to rainbow this out. It looks like that. Finally, plus 9. I want to group all the like things together. So this, nothing. This, no. This, don't have. This one, no. This one, no. This one, no. Therefore, this is the answer. Is that okay? So I hope this will help you to understand it better.